Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really pulling back the curtain on a giant you might not hear about much, the Cargill-MacMillan clan and Cargill, Inc.
That's right, the largest private company in the U.S.
Exactly. We're going to unpack their quiet dominance, their absolutely immense wealth, and also some pretty surprising, sometimes serious controversies that shadow their global influence. Our goal here, give you a shortcut. A way to quickly grasp this powerful, often hidden force that, believe me, impacts your world probably more than you realize.
Right, so where do we start? The beginning, I guess. 1865, William Wallace Cargill.
Okay.
He kicks things off with a single-grain flat house in Iowa. Very basic storage back then.
Just one building.
Pretty much. But he quickly saw the future was in innovative grain elevators, those big towers. They were game changers for storage, for transport.
All right.
And he was smart, followed the railroads heading west. That really fueled their early growth.
So seeing the potential in new tech and infrastructure early on, that was crucial.
Absolutely critical. And leadership transitions matter too. John H. McMillan Sr., he's famous for saving the company from, like, a massive debt crisis. Pulled them back from the brink.
Okay, a key moment there.
Definitely. Then his son, John H. McMillan Jr., he really pushed the global angle. Brought in innovations like a cutting-edge grain lab for quality control. And a private wire system. Think instant market info back then. Huge advantage.
Wow. So really modernizing.
Yeah, and then by 1960, there's this deliberate shift. They call it generalized professionalism in management, meaning they started bringing in top non-family executives for the day-to-day stuff, moving beyond just family running everything, even though, family ownership stayed super strong.
That history sets the stage.
Yeah.
But I think for you listening, the big question is often how. How does this family, America's fourth wealthiest, $51 billion estimated by 2022, keep such tight control? Like 88% of Cargill, Inc.
Right.
What's the secret sauce to staying private when nearly every other giant goes public?
Well, it's not just about, keeping things quiet. It's deeply strategic.
Okay.
Being private, especially at their scale, it lets Cargill make these incredibly bold long-term bets. Decades-long investments in global infrastructure, emerging markets.
Stuff that would be hard to justify quarter by quarter.
Exactly. Imagine building a massive supply chain somewhere over, say, 20 years. No quarterly earnings calls breathing down your neck. No public investors demanding instant results.
Right.
That freedom from short-term market pressure, that's a core reason they're so dominant, yet kind of under the radar.
So they can play the long game while everyone else is stuck on the quarterly treadmill.
Yeah.
And we've seen their wealth just skyrocket recently, haven't we? Especially with world events.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually, fascinating how disruptions like the COVID pandemic and the war in Ukraine directly boosted their bottom line.
How so?
Commodity prices went through the roof, right? Supply chains got messy. Conflict created uncertainty. Cargill, sitting right in the middle of those global flows, their profits soared.
And the family's wealth along with it.
Yeah, directly. And they've been very clever about avoiding IPO pressure over the years. Things like employee stock plans, spinning off parts of the business like Mosaic. But yeah, the family keeps significant board seats. Their vision still guides the ship.
Okay, so incredible strategic success, massive reach. But there's another side to this story, isn't there? Despite saying they want to nourish the world, Cargill gets hit with some persistent, pretty serious criticisms.
They do. And it forces you to ask, what's the full story behind this success? There are significant environmental allegations.
Like what?
Things like palm oil deforestation in Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and links between their soy production and deforestation in the Amazon. Big ecological footprints.
And pollution incidents, too.
Yes, major ones. That huge acidic wastewater spill in Tampa Bay, for instance, 65 million gallons. That caused a real stir.
Wow, 65 million gallons. That's hard to even picture. And it's not just the environment, right? Human rights concerns pop up, too.
Precisely. That's the other major area. Ongoing lawsuits, for example, alleging child slave labor in the cocoa industry in Côte d'Ivoire connected to their supply chain.
Really? Child labor?
Allegations, yes. And concerns have been raised about their cotton operations in Uzbekistan historically. It shows how operating at such a massive global scale, pushing for efficiency, dealing with complex supply chains, it can create these really deep vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
And raises serious questions about accountability, especially for a company this big and this powerful.
So you've got this picture of immense wealth, global influence, strategic brilliance, but also these really serious accusations. How do we, or how should you, listening, kind of weigh this Cargill legacy? It feels incredibly complex.
It is complex. On one side, you have this engine of wealth and global trade, but then, kind of unexpectedly, you have someone like Margaret Ann
A
Cargill.
fourth-generation heiress, right?
Yes. And she did something remarkable, quite quietly, actually. Left an incredible $6 billion fortune to philanthropy when she passed.
$6 billion, wow.
Became one of America's biggest, yet maybe least known environmental philanthropists,
Yeah.
supporting conservation, animal welfare. It adds this whole other really different layer to the family story.
So a different kind of impact being made there. But what about the company itself? They do publish sustainability reports, ESG stuff.
They do extensively. ESG, environmental, social, governance reports. They put out a lot about their commitments, their policies on sustainability, ethical practices.
Well,
But critics often point to what they see as a significant gap, a gap between the policies on paper and the actual verifiable impact happening on the ground. It's an ongoing debate.
so wrapping this all up, what does this mean for you, the listener?
Well, I think if you step back and look at the big picture, the Cargill-MacMillan story really makes you think, doesn't it? You have this private company, immense power, often unseen influence over global food, global resources, things we all depend on. So the question becomes, how do you measure success for an entity like that? And maybe more importantly, what kind of accountability should you expect when a company operates with such profound, often hidden impact on the world?
A really crucial question to ponder. It definitely challenges how we think about corporate power and responsibility today.